So you're sitting across the board, your opponent plays 1d4, and you just kind of sigh, right? You're tired of those slow positional grinds where it feels like you're just fighting for a draw. Well, today, we're going to break down the aggressive weapon that champions like Bobby Fischer and Garry Kasparov used to force a win against White's most solid setup.
And there's a really good reason for that quote. This isn't just a series of moves you memorize. It's a declaration of intent. The King's Indian defense, or the KID, it's designed from the ground up to create these wild, unbalanced asymmetry positions where the best player, the one who really gets the dynamics, is going to win. It's all about fighting, not just defending.
So, why did these absolute legends, Kasparov, Fischer, why did they love the King's Indian so much? It's simple, really. They knew that to win at the very top, you have to avoid those sterile, drage positions. The KID was their tool for creating these incredibly complex, tactical battles right out of the gate. It makes sure the game is decided by pure skill and nerve, not just by who memorized an endgame line.
Now, to really master this opening, you've got to understand its core philosophy. This is not your standard, I must occupy the center with pawns approach. Nope. The King's Indian is a hyper-modern weapon. And what that means is we're going to control the center from a distance with our pieces instead of planting our pawns right in the middle of it.
This right here, this is the paradox at the heart of the KID. We are going to let White build this massive, impressive-looking pawn center. And you might be thinking, why would we do that? Because that center, which looks like White's greatest strength, is about to become their biggest target. It's a trap.
Okay, let's walk through the moves. 1-4, we go nf6, White plays 2c4, and we play g6, getting ready for that fianchetto, right? Placing our bishop on the long diagonal. 3nc, we play bg7. 4e4, and we go d6. Now, just pause and look at the board. White has what they think is their ideal center, but look at what we've done. We've quietly built a fortress on the kingside and put our single most important piece on that beastly g7 square.
This quote just nails the mindset perfectly. You are not defending. You are building tension. This whole thing is about delayed gratification. You're letting White expand, you're letting them get confident, maybe a little overextended. All the while, you are coiling a spring, just waiting for that perfect moment to unleash a tactical explosion that turns White's space advantage into a fatal weakness.
All right, so we get the why. Now let's get into the how. We're going to break down the main attacking plan. This is the plan that usually kicks off right after White decides to lock the center with the d5 pawn push. And believe me, this is where the real game begins.
This plan is so direct, and it can be absolutely devastating. First up, we've got to get our knight on f6 out of the way. We move it to d7 or e8. This is the classic knight maneuver. This little move does so much. It clears the way for our f-pawn, it can swing over to help defend the queenside if we need it, and it gets ready to support a central break. Step 2, the pawn break. f5. This move is the King's Indian. It's the soul of the opening. It attacks White's e4 pawn, it fights for the kingside, and it cracks open lines against the White king. Everything, and I mean everything, hinges on this move. From there, if we can, we push to f4. This creates a wedge that just clamps down on White's position, suffocates their pieces, and gets us ready for a crushing pawn storm with our g and h pawns. The goal? It's not subtle. It's checkmate. And let's be clear, none of that attack works without this guy. The fianchettoed bishop on g7, it's the engine of the entire operation. At first, it's a defensive monster, just holding our own king position together. But its real power is on offense. It is the hidden force behind our attack, staring down that massive a1 to h8 diagonal. And the second the position opens up, it transforms into a long-range laser that can, and very often does, decide the game with one single devastating tactical shot.
Now, it's really important to know where the KID fits in with the other Indian defenses. It's not the only way to fight against d4, so let's just do a quick comparison with its more positional cousins, the Nimzo Indian and the Queen's Indian. This will help you understand its unique personality.
Looking at this table, the different philosophies become crystal clear. The King's Indian, that's all about counterattack and a direct assault on the king. It's sharp, it's aggressive, and yeah, it's risky. The Nimzo Indian is more positional. It's about using pieces to control e4 and create pawn weaknesses for White. And the Queen's Indian is strategic, often leading to quieter, more drawish games. So the takeaway here is simple. If you want to create chaos and play for a win, even if it means taking some risks, the kid is your weapon.
Okay, so because the kid can feel like a system, a lot of intermediate players fall into some really critical traps. So let's cover the big mistakes you absolutely need to avoid if you want to unleash its true power.
First, the passive trap. You have to strike back at the center. You have to play moves like e5 or c5. If you just sit there and do nothing, white's space advantage is just going to suffocate you. Second, don't get distracted by what white is doing on the queen side. In the main lines, it's a race, and you have to trust that your kingside attack is faster and deadlier. Third, be so careful with your light-squared bishop. It's often a key defender. Don't trade it off for no reason. And finally, don't be afraid of the exchange variation. When white plays d takes e5, yeah, the game simplifies, but black is totally fine. The real key here is commitment. You have to commit to your own attacking plan.
Ultimately, the King's Indian defense is way more than just an opening. It's a choice. It's a choice about what kind of chess player you really want to be. It reflects an ambition to take control, to create complications, and to play for a win. So the real question isn't just about what moves to play on the board. It's about your style. Is this your weapon?